Hi guys, I'm here today with our super fan favorite girl crush of all time, Tracy Anderson. We're so excited to have you, Tracy. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Of course,
That
of
was
course.
sweet.
So, for a lot of our viewers and clients who haven't tried the method before, in a really kind of top line summary way, how do you define your approach as different between other approaches out there?
Right, okay, so I think that the biggest difference between the method that I've created and others is the amount of research that I've done, and that the design of what I do is all very strategy based on how to consistently create balance where there's imbalance in your body without ever creating further imbalance.
Right.
So I there's it's great for everyone to move, but you are how you move. And I grew up as a dancer. My mom was a ballerina and my father was obese, and I went to school on a dance scholarship, and I gained almost 40 pounds at school for dance. So while there's a lot of, you know, fitness professionals out there who looked great in high school and they looked great in their 20s and they looked great in their 30s and they've got high functioning metabolisms, that doesn't mean that just because they're great athletes they understand how to create a balanced, athletic, healthy body in other people. And I learned out of frustration early on where, I was dancing and dancing well, that you can dance and dance well and you can move and move well and not have the design of the body that you desire. And that there wasn't anything in fitness, including Pilates, which my mom worked 3 jobs to put me through school. I did every Pilates certification you could possibly imagine. Pilates does not make you look like a long, lean dancer. There are plenty of long, lean, beautiful Pilates instructors or yoga instructors or all kinds of things, but a lot of those people were genetically always like that.
Completely.
So I had to create an actual physical language that allows and empowers everyone, no matter what their genetic background is, to become their most balanced self. That took things that other people in fitness have not even begun to embark on. I did a 5 year study on 150 women. I've done two other studies since then. To me, I don't take the word or use the word methodology lightly. I think if you're going to say you have a methodology, you better have a lot of backing.
Totally, totally. And one of the things I love so much about the method is how much attention you give to the mind and the connectivity between the mind and the body. Can you talk a little bit about your findings and your thinking around that? Because I think that is it's so intuitive, but it's so often overlooked in terms of fitness programs.
Yeah, one of the things about the mind and body connection that I think is the most alarming to me is that people don't realize that we all naturally just are and have that connection, and we allow that connection to become hijacked on a daily basis with so many external distractions and external forces and pressures and all kinds of things. And so what I like to do is quiet the noise, but to quiet the noise, I did a lot of research on what actually causes people's brains to connect the dots with all of their physical built-in, primal mechanisms. What makes them run? And when it turns out when someone's coaching someone else and talking to them, it's very disruptive to that process. So you don't burn as many calories when someone's talking to you.
Awesome.
You burn the most calories when you're mimicking someone else, like a video game, and there's really loud music. And then I added in my heat and humidity years and years ago in a very specific way, because that just was another touch point of the thermoregulating system to also turn that on, where if you have a shift in temperature and you walk in to an environment and you're like, oh, I'm going to work out in here, and you're your emotional self and your physical self are like, no, I'm not. And your intellectual self is like, yes, this is supposed to be good for you, or whatever it is. Once you have that conversation and you decide to stay in that environment, you have another connection from the brain to another working part in your body that doesn't get tapped into on a regular basis. Now, long-term stress on your body and your forcing connection between your brain and your body is very harmful to us, but for an hour to, for 30 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes a day, if you put yourself in a circumstance where the music is intense and loud and you're following something that is, has a flow that's not, not damaging to your joints, of course, or anything like that, and you're engaging and you're, sweating and pushing the envelope, that actually protects yourself. It protects your health. It helps you, stay youthful. It helps fight disease. It helps your immune system. It helps keep you alive.
Right. That makes so much sense. So fascinating. And then just in terms of our current situation and the backdrop of what's happening right now, we're talking to a lot of people, influencers, everyone trying to work from home. Are there 3 kind of moves or core practices you would integrate into your daily routine in a home environment that if you only had 30 minutes a day are kind of like essential as you see it? And it can be mind, body, or...
Listen, my own practice of my workout every day is everything to me, especially during this time, because when you practice something regularly and that is strategic, and you have the patience to actually learn something, to acquire a real physical knowledge and relationship with yourself, when there's a shift, like there's a shift right now, and there was energy you used to spend in your day that you're not spending anymore, and you don't want that energy to sit inside of you in other forms. So to get it out and move, no matter what, is very important. And then, to me, I just think we're so much smarter than we give ourselves credit for. I think that sleeping right now, moving, and nourishing your body the best you can. And I think that, one of the things that people are, freaking out about is like, I think like worrying about a food shortage or things like that. And I really encourage people to, not worry about what they're wearing right now, for sure. And instead of any clothing budget that you had or any, also just more than any kind of like elixir you could take or anything like that, sitting down with your reality and facing the fact that there is a shift, and there could be a shift in your job, there could be a shift in your income, there could be a shift in you needing to look at yourself and go, you know what, this was my job going into this, but now I better look at a different skill that I have to maybe get a different job during this time, because this might go on for a year. And also just knowing that you have to simplify and do your part to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem is also, it's a mentality, it's a mental state that you get in. And, whether you're alone and this is a time where it's going to be a long, hard look at you and yourself and your environment and your life that you get to take, it's a character building time, and it's a time, where we're all being tested. And, so you're either going to have that fight in you or you're going to just, crumble, which is not an option. So sleeping well, moving, no matter what kind of space you're in, and it's great that spring and summer are coming because people will be able to connect with nature better. But even right now, even if I wasn't in warmth right now, and by the way, I'm going to be in warmth that's going to be horrific here in another month or two. You got to get out and connect, and we're stronger than we think. But really, just sleeping, moving, and nourishing, getting frozen fruits, frozen vegetables. That's okay, and that's the way to do it right now.
Okay, amazing.
Sorry.
I know, it's amazing. And then shifting gears really quickly, I think that for any of us who have had kids, this is a constant feedback that we get from our readers and our clients. And obviously, looking at you, one of the biggest things that we hear about when we are working with other women is the post-baby body and kind of the skin laxity and how you solve for that, and it's almost like losing more weight, it gets worse. And is it a myth that there is no fitness treatment for that, or is that something that you kind of through repetition or you work?
No fitness treatment for lax skin after a baby?
That's what we've heard.
What's my whole life's work all about?
Well, so exactly, we look at you and we're like, wait,
Wait, I have a 21-year-old.
crazy.
I gained 60 pounds with him in my early 20s. And I had my daughter when I was in my late 30s. She's 7. I'm 45. And I don't have any loose skin.
I know,
So,
it's cold. So let's
so no. You do right away. After your doctor releases you, and when I'm a huge nursing advocate, first of all.
Yeah.
If you can nurse, and then as soon as your doctor releases you, this is where you set the stage for, yes, of course you're going to care for your baby, but listen, I never had, a nanny situation where my kids were really gonna just go with this nanny. My kids, I on demand breastfed both of them, but there are all kinds of amazing swings and things where you put the baby in the swing, you put on my streaming or any one of my post pregnancy DVDs, and you have to start patiently layering the pieces back together. But the good thing about post-pregnancy is that you have a hormone in you called relaxin. It gets secreted in you when you're pregnant to allow for the shift in your spine. That stays in you 6 months after you deliver the baby. And so I figured out a way to muscularly use that to my benefit to get everything to come back. But you have to do the work. You have to put the time in, and it is a daily practice. And then you have to say, you know what? I was strong enough to do that. Now I'm going to the next level and the next level. So you can't expect your skin to just come back on its own, because it's just not going to.
Right. Okay. So it's a real commitment, and
It's a real commitment.
and patience is probably the key to that.
Yeah.
Amazing. So just in closing, so you've obviously built.
I love all the kids at home, by the way. So
Sorry.
no, I love it. It's
Work from
amazing.
home. I just do a little work. So you've obviously built an incredible business, an incredible brand. It's not something that's easy to do. You know that firsthand. Do you have any kind of anecdotes and really a key learning in being a woman in business and how you did that? I mean, it's unbelievable what you built. And I feel like there's a lot of earned knowledge. And if there's one takeaway that you could share, one anecdote, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Um, Thank you. I knew, because of all of the women that I serve and have for many years, that the one thing that I would fight to the death for is my trusted relationship between myself and them. And when you're in business and you're serving people, whether it's a product or it's no matter what it is, if you've created it, so if you've given birth to this line of energy or this mission, don't ever let anyone else tell you that they know more about it than you do. Ever. Ever.
I love that.
Just don't. And don't be afraid to just say, you know what? Thank you. That just, I'll consider that, but it might not work for me, and that's okay. And you also, it's not a race. It's definitely not a race, and there are so many people that will do so many shocking things. You know, like most of my competition came from me from really unethical trainers that worked for me for a minute, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm cute and I can move, so I'm gonna have a method too," and they don't have methods, and it's just like, you know, it's disturbing. But people, you know, if you want to really sell something that is long lasting and has quality and depth and truth behind it, then just don't let anyone steal or get in the way of yourself and your integrity for your purpose of why you started it.
I couldn't love that more. Couldn't have been better said either.
Yeah.
And then just quickly, what is next for Tracy Anderson brand? What are you most excited about next that we can look out and
Well, you know, I have to say, just being in the moment right now with everything that all of us all over the world are facing, I'm I'm the most proud that I have a service and I have a team that was willing to shift so quickly with me, because we are going to need, this is going to be a long journey. So for me, I'm the most excited about figuring out how to make myself live on Saturdays and Sundays. So I committed, I even did it on Easter. I've committed to going live on Saturdays and Sundays for a power, like 2 hour class. And then my trainers are going live during the week too, which has been fun. And then Penny and I started a little recess class that all of the proceeds are going to Feeding America. So I think that what's next is that I will continue to serve all of those healthy leaders all over the world who can still afford the luxury of paying for a fitness service. And then I'm probably gonna likely just be contributing in a charitable way as much as I possibly can across the board to all of the incredible, you know, doctors and researchers and scientists and people that need our support, and then all of the people that are going to have a serious economic loss during this journey that need support. And so to me, it's like businesses that are able to stay healthy are going to need to band together and create more jobs or be a part of some kind of a community solution so that, you know, kind of nobody gets left behind here. Because already, just in daily normal life, too many people get left behind. And during this, so many willing, capable people who are hardworking, you know, they're going to need support. So my what's next for me is just to keep my own business healthy, my own employees healthy, and to help others wherever we can.
amazing. Well, you've given us so much to emulate in one conversation. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank
We will
you.
include information on how to sign up for the digital classes to all of our readers and clients. And until next time, thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you. Have an
Okay. Yeah,
awesome day.
you
Bye.
too. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.